Hey, welcome back to another video nobody asked for. I'm Sarah, and today I'm going to be doing a video about trends that need to be left in 2020. Now, some of these things aren't necessarily 2020 trends, they're just things I want to see never happen again in future years. So without further ado, I'm gonna get right into the video. So the first thing I think needs to end in 2020 is asking people for their skincare routine. I don't know if you guys realized, but not everybody has the same skin. So not everybody's skincare routine is gonna work for you. So you asking somebody who's never dealt with acne in their entire life, when you deal with cystic acne, for their skincare routine probably isn't gonna work for you. Some people are really out here not even washing their faces and having perfect skin. Just because something works for one person doesn't mean it's gonna work for you. So asking people for their skincare routine is completely pointless, because chances are you're gonna do exactly what they do, maybe even do it better than they do, and your skin probably isn't going to look anything like theirs. Not to mention Photoshop and all these other photo editing apps exist, so chances are they're getting rid of a blemish here, they're getting rid of a blemish there. What you're seeing isn't all real, and even in videos people could airbrush stuff with makeup, so make their skin look a little bit more perfect than it actually is in real life. It's pointless to ask people for their skincare routine. Just find products that you've heard are good for people who have similar skin types to you and see if they work for you. And if they work for you, great. If they don't, try something else. Same thing for what I eat in a day. Even if everybody was on the same diet, they wouldn't look the same. So stop asking people for what they eat in a day or exercise routine and what they use for skincare, because it's pointless, because chances are it's not gonna work for you. The next thing I think needs to end in 2020, y'all might hate me for this, is the early 2000s trends. Most of them are ugly. I just feel like Regina George in Mean Girls when she says, "Stop trying to make fetch happen. It's not gonna happen." They're ugly back then and they're still ugly now. The next one I have on the list is Ugg slides. Now, call me a hater if you want to, but they're not cute. The regular ones aren't cute, the knockoff ones are not cute. They look dumb. I feel like they'd be okay if they didn't have that strap in the back, but the strap in the back is what ruined it for me. I'm like, ugh. No. I mean, some of the colors are cute or whatever, but it's the color that I like. It's not the shoe in and of itself. No. They're ugly. I don't like them. Next one I think needs to die in 2020 is using anger to justify disrespect, because so many times, especially when it comes to things like politics or just people having differing opinions on social issues, people, as soon as somebody disagrees with them or as soon as they get angry, they immediately go for disrespect. And honestly, truly, when you disrespect somebody, it's not gonna make them agree with you. You calling somebody an idiot or stupid or this, that, and the third isn't gonna make them agree with you. Same thing when it comes to just personal issues. If you're arguing with a friend and you call them the B word, that's not gonna immediately make them take your side. Like, I just don't understand why people, I mean, like, I'm partially talking to myself too, because it doesn't matter the situation, it doesn't matter what somebody said or did. Just because you're angry doesn't mean you have to disrespect people. And I understand in certain situations, you might think that being disrespectful is justified, but it's not. It doesn't mean you're without being disrespectful. The next one on the list is cancel culture, and I know this one's such a cliche. Bullying people into having good morals is never gonna work. All it's gonna do is make somebody better at hiding their misdeeds. I think we should still hold people accountable for the bad things that they've done, especially when the things they've done are illegal. The next thing on the list is stands. Being a stan is taking things a little too far. The reason why I find stands so problematic is because they think their idol can do no wrong. And because they think their idol can do no wrong, they never hold them accountable, they make excuses for their bad behavior, and they turn a blind eye to the bad things that their idols do. That's another part of the reason why cancel culture doesn't work, because stans exist. People who don't care how racist the person they're a fan of is. People who don't care how many illegal, horrible things the person does, because at the end of the day, they're still great and I love them. Yay! Despite the fact that I've never met them before. Y'all are really out here worshiping people who don't even know that you exist. You're not on their radar. They do not care about you. They're not paying you to attack people online who criticize that. I think it's okay to be a fan of people, but to be stans, literally worship the ground a person you literally have never met and probably will never meet, walks on, is ridiculous. And y'all need to chill, especially if you're grown folk. When the kiddies do it, it's like, okay, they're immature, but when grown folk are out here doing it, it's like, okay, but get a job. Okay, get a job. Get a job. The next thing on the list is colorist people. If you don't know what colorist is, look it up. We're tired of talking about it. You do know what a colorist is, you know why it's on the list. Moving on. The next thing on the list is the one drop rule. I am so tired of people hanging on to this one drop rule, because first and foremost, the one drop rule is an extension of Jim Crow laws. The one drop rule was created so white masters wouldn't have to take care of their children with slave women. They wouldn't have to acknowledge them. Those people could never claim any inheritance, so they couldn't gain any white privilege from being half white. That's why the one drop rule was put in place. It was a way to keep whiteness pure. The fact that so many people are hanging on to this rule for dear life is insane to me. Like, why? Especially Black people. It's one thing when white folks go, oh my gosh, my great-great-great-great-grandmother's next door neighbor had to sleep in slave quarters when she was on punishment. So technically, I'm like Black too. So like, yeah, I'm part Black, yeah. It's one thing when the people who are clearly white say shenanigans like that. But it's a whole nother thing when Black people hang on to this one drop rule for dear life, including everybody under the sun, saying, oh yeah, we're all mates, we're all like, shut up. At the end of the day, a person who has like 1/100th, if that's even possible, Black in them isn't going to be treated the same way as somebody who has 2 Black parents. Stop including everybody in Blackness, because not everybody's Black. Please and thanks. The next thing on the list is shaming Black women for having standards. I've noticed, at least within the Black community, there's been a little bit of a trend of shaming Black women for having any sort of standards. We saw it earlier in the year with B. Simone, who said she didn't want to be with a guy who worked a 9-to-5. She wanted to be with a guy who was an entrepreneur, which there's literally nothing wrong with that. And she even clarified that she wasn't trying to put down people who work 9-to-5s. She was saying that she understands people who work 9-to-5s work hard. It's just she wants a guy who's an entrepreneur because she's also an entrepreneur. Yeah, same thing with that woman who literally got dragged for filth for wanting a guy who makes 6 figures when she also makes 6 figures. People wanted to say, oh, well, she's ugly, so she doesn't deserve a guy who makes 6 figures. Nobody even tried to listen to the reason why she wanted a guy who makes 6 figures, because one, she also makes 6 figures. It's not like she's out here homeless saying, I need a man who's a millionaire. No. And 2, when she's dated men who weren't making the same amount as her financially, lots of them tried to use her as a stepping stool to success, and she didn't like that. So she wanted a man who makes at least the same amount as her, or is on his way to making the same amount as her. And I think that's completely valid, and I don't think her look should have been brought into it at all. If men are allowed to want drop-dead gorgeous models when they're broke and look like the crust between my toes, then women should be able to want whatever they want. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. This one on the list is not using your preference or preference, because also trying to not preference, but that's another conversation for another time. Not using your preference to degrade other groups of people. That one should be self-explanatory. If it's not, go look at another thing that needs to be dead and gone in the coming years. It should have already been dead and gone. Is Shane Dawson and Jafar Starburst. Yeah, them two. If you know, you know. Can we just leave them in the past? The next thing on the list is performative activism / bullying people into activism. It is so incredibly ridiculous when you see people who obviously don't care about issues pretending to care about issues just for clout. It is so awful when people literally bully people into pretending they care. If somebody doesn't post that Black Lives Matter, somebody never shows that they care that Black Lives Matter, chances are they don't care. And if they don't care, then we can stop supporting them. You know, if they're going to be silent and they're not going to say anything, then we can just silently unfollow them. We can silently stop buying their music. Instead of bullying people into pretending that they care about a certain cause, you can just take note. You can either choose to continue supporting them, or you can choose to not support them anymore, you know? The next one on the list is idolizing celebrity couples. And the reason why I need to stop doing this is because you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Just because the relationship looks perfect on the internet doesn't mean it's perfect in real life. We've seen so many examples of couples that people have idolized and worshipped and called couple goals that turn out to be fraudulent. You know, the thing that you thought was goals about them wasn't actually true. They were just pretending for the internet to make them look good, and because it got them clout. Let's try to work on our own relationships, work on loving the people that are already in our lives, instead of, you know, idolizing people who don't know about us, don't care about us, and probably aren't even that great of a couple to begin with. The next thing on the list is invalidating your own feelings. Because your feelings, they're information. They tell you things. You feel sad, it's not for no reason. When you feel angry, it's not for no reason. When you feel jealous, when you feel happy, when you feel any sort of emotion, it's your body trying to tell you something. It is information, important information, valid information. So your feelings are valid, your feelings do matter. And granted, at times our feelings may make us feel stupid, they may make us feel crazy, but they're important. Stop telling yourself, oh yeah, it's not that big of a deal. Oh yeah, my feelings don't matter. Yeah, I'm just gonna pretend that I don't feel this way until it goes away, because believe me, I've tried, and it's not the best thing to do. It's just not a good idea. So the next thing on the list kind of goes into what I was just talking about feelings. Stop invalidating other people's feelings. Like, stop telling people that they're being sensitive or they're overreacting simply for getting upset with you. Because there are so many times where somebody will, you know, start crying, or they'll just get angry and maybe they'll walk away, and somebody else will be like, oh my gosh, you're overreacting. Like, I don't get why you're so upset. You do realize that in order to have an overreaction, there needs to be an action involved, right? If someone just gets a sad look on their face, somebody just gets visibly angry, if they don't actually do anything, they can't be overreacting. If someone just walks out of the room, they're not overreacting. In order for something to be overreacting, it has to be a reaction to something that is just completely unnecessary. Chances are, unless somebody's cussing you all the way out, or they're being violent, then chances are it's probably not even an overreaction. Chances are probably just a normal reaction. Granted, that definitely varies. That definitely isn't gonna always be the case. But still, stop telling people that they're overreacting when they simply get upset about something, because there's nothing wrong with getting upset about something. And someone simply getting sad or simply getting angry is completely normal and completely valid. And you have no right to tell somebody that they're being too sensitive or they're overreacting simply because they're having normal emotions. The next thing on the list is non-Black people saying the N-word. Can we leave that in the past? Please. And when I say non-Black people, I'm not just talking about white folk who want to be bullied on the internet by saying the N-word. Yeah, because lots of times the white folk who want to do that think they're being cool and think they're being edgy. I'm talking about non-Black people of color who think, well, I'm a person of color, so they're not talking to me. Yes, we are. If you're Asian or Hispanic, I don't know who told you that because you're POC, no, you're not. If you're not Black, you can't say the N-word. I don't care if you grew up in the hood. I don't care if you procreated with a Black person. I don't care if your spouse or significant other is a Black person. I don't care if you were raised by Black people. As long as you're not Black, that word's not for you. And the reason why that word's not for you, no matter how it's spelled, no matter if it's spelled with an ER or the A, is because that word will never be used to degrade you. That word will never be used to attack you, to make you less than. Okay, that word will never and has never been used against you. So that's why, regardless of the spelling, that's not your word. So the last thing on the list is people complaining about other people following regulations. And I'm not talking about anti-maskers who'd be like, you guys are cheats. No, I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about people who are on the wave for wearing masks and everything. But when people are doing things within regulations, they want to get upset. Like if people are grocery shopping at Target, oh my gosh, I can't believe people are really in Target. Everybody should get their groceries delivered just like me. Like, you're being a Karen. You're being a Karen. Because if people are out here following regulations, wearing masks while they're in Target, staying 6 feet apart from people they didn't come in the store with, then what's the problem? Why are you complaining? Like, please shh and go away. Just because you don't feel safe doing a particular thing doesn't mean other people aren't allowed to feel safe doing a particular thing. So if somebody feels safe going into Target as long as they have a mask on and stay 6 feet away from people, then that's fine. But if you personally don't feel safe enough to go into Target, then you don't have to. No one's forcing you to. But shaming other people for doing it when it's within regulations is super annoying. Same thing with people complaining about people wearing masks, not wearing masks outside. I don't know about where other people live, but where I live, as long as you stay 6 feet away from people, you're allowed to not wear a mask outside. Granted, some people might still wear a mask the second they step out of the house until they get right back in, and that's completely fine. Like, if that's the way you feel safest, then you do that. But if somebody is following regulations, they're staying at least 6 feet away from people. Honestly, should be more than that because people are broke. But people really want to be complaining over everything. You complaining about it isn't going to make a difference anyway. So that's all I have for today. If you didn't hate this video, you can like, subscribe, share it with your friends, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.
Don't you understand? Do you not understand? S to the A to the R to the A. Yeah, my name's Sarah and my last name's Slay. When I come over, yeah, he begging me to stay. But this ain't Burger King.